Hello, my loves, and welcome back to an episode on Transform. This is a special solo episode that you will have myself diving into all around acne. This is also an episode that I would invite someone in if you have something you're struggling with, maybe an illness or maybe a certain thing that's holding you back from living your best life. Yes, this is about my acne journey, but truly there is such a lesson for everyone in this. And I'm so excited to share what that is. When I did a lot of reflection on my acne journey, it has progressed so much to understanding the why and actually understanding why it was happening so for me. And JT always shares with me, he's like, when you've processed something, when you can actually be grateful for it. I think it's really hard to be grateful for something when you're in it and it's giving you a lot of struggle or it's giving you a lot of pain. And when we're talking about acne, we can all say, or something that is holding you back from living your best life, it is so painful. It is so hard. It is such a struggle. You feel like it's never going to end. And that is why I am so grateful and honored that you are listening to this episode, that you've tuned in. And I want you to know the reason I was inspired to do this episode now is because I've processed so much of it to be grateful for the why and to be able to share it with all of you and hopefully help in any way. I have received so many DMs and questions about how I cleared my skin, because if you are watching on YouTube or seeing a social clip or just listening, I have completely clear skin. Of course, I get a breakout here and there like a normal human, but as far as what I had, if anyone saw the photos, the videos, the imagery, I was very vocal about my acne. I had cystic acne down to the bottom of my neck and all the way up to my cheeks. And it was so bad. Like, it was really, really, really bad, really painful. And there was no way to hide it. And so to be able to sit here in this moment and look into the camera and feel and see my skin be completely clear and actually not have the fear of having acne again is why I am so excited to share this episode, because the same is going to happen for you. I believe it. I know it. If you are listening to this episode, that means that you're hitting a place where you're asking questions, you're curious, you want to be compassionate to what's going on with your skin, because let me tell you, it is here to guide you. It is not actually here to hurt you. Again, being so mindful though, if you are listening to that and you have been struggling, I went through acne for 5.5 years. So to just jump into a little bit of my story, my acne started to come up when I was around 24. And it was really bad, and it just kept getting worse. I started to see the breakouts come through, but they weren't like whiteheads. They were those cystic big red ones that you could not pick at. And they honestly, like, I feel them now. It was almost like a maze on my face. Like, it felt like they were like creating their own maze and pattern, and it was just not getting any better. And I'm going to tap into all of the things that I did and tap into all the things that actually did work and the things that didn't work to save you, hopefully, time and money and energy. But I will say, like anything, there is not one thing, one cure for anyone or anybody. These situations are so nuanced and so personal. So going into it, and when you're listening to this episode, I want you to take in what feels true for you, but it is not one potion, one way for everyone. So I will say too, a huge motivation going through acne for 5 years was when I was around 28. I was engaged, and then I knew I was going to get married, and my prayer was to not have acne on my wedding day. Like, it was truly my prayer to be so in my body, to be so clear with my skin. And I think that did drive a motivation for me to pivot from all the things that I was trying that were not working and to actually say, okay, I surrender to my skin. I have tried everything that everyone else has told me to do. I have tried everything that I think it should look like or how we should do it. And I'm going to let my skin speak for itself. So I want to dive in to Actually, I want to share like a little bit of a story because, again, I just want to share how raw and real this subject is. And for anyone that hasn't struggled with acne, again, I think you can still pinpoint an area in your life that maybe it's social anxiety, maybe it's you have an injury and you can't move your body in certain ways and you see other people being able to do things. I think that this message goes for so many different things, not just acne. But I wanted to share like a couple examples while I was reflecting, just so that I can meet you in this of how bad it was for me. First off, whenever I would speak to people, whenever I would go somewhere, I would put my hands like in front of my face. So if I was talking to someone, I would like hold my chin. I would put my hand on my cheek, even though you're not supposed to touch your face. Like when I was out in public, I was doing everything to put my hands on my face and cover my face. I also would wear my hair down mostly. Like I would try to put my hair in front of my face, and which was very difficult. Obviously, if anyone's been following me, I was literally having a camera to my face on YouTube for years. I was teaching workouts online, and you could absolutely see my skin through the camera. I had plenty of comments of people saying like, what's going on with her skin? What happened to her face? And I would wear makeup every single day. I would not go anywhere without it, and I would pile it on. Like I was just caking this makeup on. And I remember this one memory of me, like it was in the summer, and we ran into friends and I wasn't wearing makeup, and they were like, "Do you guys want to go to the beach with us?" It was JT and I. And we went to the beach, and I remember I was so uncomfortable because I had no makeup on and I didn't have my makeup with me. And they said it was just going to be them. And we show up to the beach, and it's like 15 people that I know. And I was like, oh shit, like I can't turn around. I can't back out. Like this is a really big moment for me to just surrender to this moment and love myself, even though, gosh, is that stuff hard when you're in it. And I just remember laying on my towel, remember trying to act like I was sunbathing, and I pretended to fall asleep, and I ended up like literally just crying in my towel. And everyone's just having fun and being playful. And I was just so devastated that people were actually seeing my skin for what it was. Now, mind you, of course, when you talk to people, they're like, I can't even tell it's your skin. Like, no, your face is beautiful. But when you're in it every single day and you look at yourself every single day and you have really painful red dots all over your face and you have tried absolutely everything, that is one of the most painful experiences, to actually share that in public and be okay with people seeing such rawness and realness, because it's spiritually painful, physically painful, emotionally painful. Okay, I want to share on that note all of the things that I have done, and I want to share this list, and I almost laughed doing it because I also thought about the amount of people who gave me advice of what to do with my skin, which again, so grateful for everyone's advice. But when you have tried everything, you honestly don't want anyone to say anything anymore. You're like, I have really tried it all. So I'm just going to share a couple of the things that I have tried, and then I'm going to share what actually worked. And then I'm going to share the biggest thing that I know was the answer to clearing my acne. So I tried every skin brand you could ever try for acne. If it was on any TikTok, YouTube, and it was saying it can clear your acne, I bought it. I watched YouTube videos of how to clear your skin. I got off birth control. I tried chemical peels. I was on spirulactone. I did Accutane 1.5 times. Spirulactone, I lasted about 2 weeks because my body rejected it. Accutane the first time, it cleared up for about 4 months and then came right back. So then I went to go in to do it again, and my body fully rejected it that I actually couldn't even continue the Accutane. I cut out dairy and gluten. I did elimination diets. This one's amazing. I even did a fruitarian diet. So I only ate fruit, like literally fruit. This doctor told me, I just want you to eat fruit for 3 weeks. You guys, I ate only fruit for 3 weeks. That is how desperate I was. I didn't even know like who only eats fruit, but if he told me it was going to clear my skin, I only ate fruit for 3 weeks. I got all new makeup. I changed my pillowcase every single night. I did lasers, I did stool tests, I did Dutch test, I did food sensitivity testing. I did affirmations of telling myself that my skin is clear every single day. I tried to lower my stress. I went to 2 acne clinics. That is just like the short list. Like I could keep going of how many things that I did and how much money and time and energy and stress that I poured into clearing my skin. And if you can hear what I'm saying, everything that I was looking up was like how to clear my acne rather than what is the root of my acne. It was always me just saying on a surface level, I have acne, what should I do? So I want to go into what actually helped my skin from those areas because like I said, it's nuance. It's like a recipe here. It's not just one thing that cures it all. The things that actually were helpful for me. Cutting out dairy and gluten was tremendously helpful for my body. No matter what's happening with dairy and gluten, especially in America, is it is really hard on our gut. And you guys, our gut is connected to our face. So that just wasn't supporting my system when trying to clear my skin. It's not the answer. I cut out dairy and gluten and it was not like it went away. It just was helpful for my gut to remain its integrity and work on what it needed to work on to clear my skin. And dairy and gluten in America is just like not the finest type of food you want to be digesting. I do have gluten and dairy now to give you the understanding that my gut is in a way better place that it can handle it. I do think going and seeing a dermatologist is extremely helpful. I would actually highly recommend do not go and see, this is again personal, see estheticians. I saw a lot of estheticians that told me they could clear my skin, and I could say the 5 are coming to my head made it worse. Without a doubt. They all have the cure. They all say, like, use these products, cut out these things. And again, it worked for some girls on social media. I remember looking at these girls on social media and their skin was clear from these estheticians, but it was not for me. So a dermatologist was where I got lasers done. It's where I did go on Accutane. And I do think that was part of the process. I do think a dermatologist was a little bit more serious and science-backed that I needed as a little bit more support than going and getting facials every single month. So that I highly recommend. Accutane, like I mentioned, I'm not promoting it. Accutane definitely gave me relief. Even if it was those 4 months, knowing that my skin could get clear, it was helpful. But I swear to you, if you listen to the rest of this video and I give you the number one reason to clear your acne, you will be surprised if you need that resource. But I have been on it. I have no judgment to people that need to get on it. I think it's medication sometimes is very important. Another thing that I did was AviClear, which is a laser, and that's helping close your oil glands underneath. It was this laser invented in like Germany. My dermatologist recommended it. I did that towards the end of my journey. So I did a lot of the other things that I'm about to mention that I think AviClear worked for me because I did the healing that I needed to do then the AviClear, and it was perfect time. It was the recipe of like the completeness that the oil glands just needed to close up a little bit. But I have friends who have done AviClear and it didn't work for them again. So you have to understand there's not one recipe for everyone. Cleaner makeup. I do think using non-pore clogging ingredients for absolutely, if you have acne, I still try to prioritize that. I'm not the best at it, but I do see my skin even get irritated from non-pore clogging if I have pore clogging makeup. So I do highly recommend non-pore clogging makeup. I also think skincare is important. It is not the answer though. Let me tell you, for someone who tried everything, topical is just not the way that's going to get rid of the entire face of acne. There's so much internal that's going on. So I think skincare, Clearstem is someone I trust. I really love them. They have really devoted to acne products. So if you're looking for a skincare brand, truly, I love them so much. So, moral of the story in that is skincare can support healing, but it is not the end result. It can't create healing. So skincare can support healing, but it cannot create it. This is where I'm going to dive into the real shift that I found when I stopped fighting my acne. You guys, the biggest shift that happened for me, and this is again when my wedding was approaching and I saw that every single thing was not working, I realized, okay, acne is not my enemy. It is my guide. It is trying to tell me something. It is not here for kicks and giggles. It is not here to just piss me off. It is not here for no reason. This acne has a message, and if I do not listen, it will continue to get worse. And it has continued to get worse. This is where when I realized I am trying to fix everything from my mind. Here is the key here, and I really want you to listen to this. I was trying to logically understand why my acne was here. And I was reaching out to resources like other people, tell me why my acne is like this. And they're just telling me based off like a doctor what they know to be true and what they have seen cure. But there's not one way for everyone. And I'm the only one in my body, so I'm the only one that can actually know. So when I stopped reaching outside of me, when I stopped only trying to figure it out from my mind, and when I decided to ask the acne and get into my body, go internal instead of external, I figured it out. I literally figured it out. So if you're listening right now and you're like, how do you do that? This is the work that I have been so passionate about for the past couple of years. This is the work that I have been in a corner practicing, and it is embodiment. Embodiment is the answers to everything. Embodiment is the answers to clarity. Embodiment is the answers to solutions, or embodiment is the answer to our problems. When we are in our body and not in our mind, we actually understand what our body is trying to share with us so that we can live and feel our most fulfilled life. So let me share what I would do and what I have done, honestly, in this situation. So number one thing is getting out of our mind and into our body. How we're going to work on getting embodied. And I'm so here to take you guys along in this journey and just share my best practices. I actually, if you are wanting an episode on specifically embodiment, I am so here to do that. So definitely comment in the comments or send me a DM, because this is a subject I am passionate about because it has changed my life. So the first thing that I would do with wanting to get embodied is understand what that means. Understand, educate yourself on what it means to actually be in your body, not in your mind. I think ChatGPT is an incredible resource to start asking those questions. Here is what I mean by that. My skin, when I look back, was so hot when I would be stressed or when I would get triggered. Now I know my triggers. When I would get triggered by something, the way that my face felt like heat was coming off of it, and the way that it was mostly on my jaw, for me, now knowing if my body's speaking, that I was having so many emotions of anger and frustration, these emotions that wanted to be processed and released, but they were stored in my body and I'm living in my mind, so they don't know how to get out. So how do they tell me that they need to be released and processed and they need my help to do so? They come out through my skin. And they come out in heat, they come out in literally burning sensations, and then they show physically with the acne. And that was a really big aha moment for me. And so when you're looking and educating of how the mind and the body works, how to be embodied, it's understanding how the body stores emotions. How does my body store emotions? Where do I feel it in my body? What emotion is that? So like when you, even right now, if I were to check in and I felt fear, I would ask myself, and how would I know that? Okay, well, I felt this sensation in my heart, and if I had to name it, it felt like fear. And then you start to actually understand the body will tell you either how you can process it, or it'll tell you, it'll connect you to a time it felt scared. And it just needs you to be there for it. It needs you to allow and validate and give compassion to that part in you that maybe did not get to before. And again, I'm kind of tapping in a little bit to parts work. So I know this is a little bit nuanced that I'm so happy to tap into a full episode. But you absolutely can dive in by educating yourself on mind and body and embodiment. I also have resources that I used. These are two that come straight to mind. One is holistic psychologist, Dr. Nicole LaPera. She has a book called How to Do the Work. She's incredible, but if you're asking the questions of how do I do this, just like I was, she guides it so beautifully in books and workbooks. She also has podcasts. She has so much on socials of starting to understand what it is like to be in your body. And you guys, I want you to know you are not alone if you feel like, I don't know if I'm in my body. I don't know if I've ever been in my body. Our systems work really hard to keep us safe. And so we live a lot more in our brain than in our body. And I think a big purpose here for us is to be showing our systems we are okay to live in our body. We are okay to feel emotions. And I am here to support you. I am here to not avoid. I'm here to step in, lean in like you would a child. And this is how we create more space and more freedom and more clarity to live our intuitive, most embodied life. Another person that I think is a great resource is Sarah Baldwin. She has a podcast. She talks a lot about somatics, nervous system, parts work, attachments. And this might be so like, whoa, how are we talking about this subject when we're talking about acne? But I'm telling you, they all connect. Acne is a symptom. The root is embodiment. The root is you not being in your body. And that's what we have to come back to. So these signals that your body are giving you are for good reasons. They want you to live in your body so you can live the life that you are dreaming of. So those are the two people that really I have found as resources and tools. And again, just educating myself using ChatGPT or reading articles about embodiment and getting back in my body, and even sharing with, these resources like ChatGPT of like, I have acne. How could this actually be lining up to me not being in my body? Okay, I know that was a lot that was thrown at you. So I want to share some tools and practices to practice this embodiment. When we are saying getting into our body, it is getting present. It is getting in the now. We spend a lot of times in the future and in the past. So truly getting into your body is as easily as taking a breath, is as focusing on the nostrils, focusing on the breath going in through the nose and out through the mouth, putting your hand over your heart, feeling your body, rather than thinking about or doing 400 other things at the same time. So my favorite practice of once I educated myself and said, okay, I think this can work because I understand that this is scientifically what's happening. Like literally it's science. Now I'm going to actually take it into practice because we have to take it into practice to actually embody it. So my favorite ways are a wonder walk. This is where you take a walk outside. I would let your phone not be there, no music, and you actually just explore the nature. So you look at flowers, you look at the sky, you look at trees, and you take in the senses. So you take in the smells, you take in the noises, you take in the touch, and this is getting you into your body. And it's not like all of the answers are going to surface right away, but what you're showing your system and yourself is it's okay to be in our body. I feel safe to be in my body, or I'm welcoming safety and connection into my body to then get the clarity and answers for my skin. Another is meditation. I know that there's tons of apps out there. So really it's just finding what meditation works for you. You can start with 1 minute a day. You don't have to be doing an hour-long meditation. These are the tools that I have found have been so helpful for me to invite in my body to actually speak to me and that I will listen. And that's the hardest part. is it's truly allowing whatever comes up. So for me, when I actually asked my skin and my acne, why are you here? What do you need me to know? Then you start to allow the messages to come through. And I truly would journal them out, and then I would surrender to them and then just practice getting into my body. Okay. I just want to mention too that this work is hard work, but it is the most fulfilling work. It is the work that is going to allow you to, again, be the most free, be the most clear, literally, physically, spiritually. And it is going to allow you to live the intuitive life that you are meant here to live. So by you saying, okay, I hear you, acne, I hear that you're speaking to me, I hear you, illness, I hear you, injury, you are holding me back in ways, and I have tried all of the other things, and I want to get down to the root. And you inviting your parts, you inviting the emotions, you inviting anything that comes through and saying, I'm not scared of you, I will be here for you, allows the conversation to happen and allows for you to be more in your body and less in your mind. And if you're having a moment of like, also, how do I know when my mind is speaking and when my body is speaking? And again, this could be in a full episode on the embodiment that I want to do. Gosh, your body is way more quiet and calm and kind and slow, where your mind is very more urgent and aggressive and panicky. So even if your body's delivering a message that you don't really love, like, okay, here is why you have a lot of anger in your body and we need to process it, it comes with a gentle hug. Instead of, if it was coming from your mind, it comes with panic and fear, and this is never going to end, and hopelessness. And that's the difference between the two. I want to really lean into the fact that just because one thing worked for someone, it does not mean that it's going to work for you. So if you're literally listening to these skincare brands, if you're literally listening to a YouTube video like myself where they said this one thing worked, I just want to invite you in to know that I don't believe that there is one way for everyone. I believe that it could totally have worked for that person, but I think it's you going within and actually understanding your recipe. And how you do that is by getting into your body and understanding what your body needs. Your body might actually, after you start doing the processing and the emotions and getting more into your body, it might say, okay, now I want you to go do that laser. Now I want you to go to that facialist. But we're doing it premature before doing this work, so we're not getting the root. Oh, my loves. This subject is so deep, so real, and I'm just like having so much compassion for you guys. So I just want you to remember, healing the skin starts with healing your story. It's not just about the skincare. It's not just about the outside external. Healing your skin is so much about the internal. The last thing I do want to touch on, and this is actually a really big part of it, but it wasn't the full story, like I said, a lot of questions about hormones, because for us women specifically, when we have acne, it does mean our hormones are probably off. The problem here is that it is not the root cause. It is definitely a piece of it, because what's happening is if we are in distress, our hormones are going to get wonky. Our cortisol is going to show up. Our DHEA is going to be completely off. So it makes sense. But do you understand how it's not the root? Pretty much what I'm just trying to say is that your hormones are a reflection, or like they are the thing that is saying, hey, something is wrong, but the hormones are not the full answer. They're saying, hey, this is, again, your acne is telling you something's wrong. Now your hormone testing is telling you something is wrong, but that's not the root. And the reason I know this too is because how many DMs I got from you guys of you saying, all of my hormones are now balanced and I still have acne. And I was in that exact same place. I got my blood test back on the first time and I had really high DHEA. And that showed me that okay, my body is in fight or flight. My body is going, going, going. I am completely wonky. So that's where I had to also invite in the mindfulness, getting into my body more. It's a signal that something here is wrong, but your hormones are not the full reason why it's here. They're just the literally the signal, the red alarm that's going off like siren saying, "Hey, we got an issue here. Your body is in freaking overdrive. You've been working so hard. You haven't stopped. Your body is actually going to fly away if we do not get back inside of it." And I'm going to give you another signal. Here comes acne. Like, this is the process of your body trying to speak to you. It's like screaming from the rooftops, something is wrong. Please notice me. Please listen to me. And the way that we can do that is by getting into our bodies. I do want to say checking your hormones, though, is so important. It's part of the puzzle that I'm speaking to here in this nuanced whole shenanigans. I think understanding where you're starting at is so beneficial to see if you are getting better. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend getting your hormones checked. You guys know we talk a lot on here about Function Health. They are the best. Like, I mean this deeply. They are the best at giving you a full blood panel of absolutely everything accurately, because that's the thing too. I took some tests that were not done accurately, that did not show me exactly what was going on with my hormones, and then I needed someone to walk me through it, and Function does that through an app. So I'm really, really grateful. They did give me an offer for the specific episode because I know a lot of you guys are going to go get your hormones checked. So they gave me $100 credit for new members, and it's limited to the first 1,000. So you can visit functionhealth.com/transform and you could use code transform100. So I'm really excited for you guys to dive into that too, because it is an important piece of the puzzle. But in all, this is a puzzle, and the root of the puzzle, before you can even see the end picture, is actually getting into your body, not running away from it. And you guys, this is going to take consistency. Dear goodness, is this part the hardest because we want to see results fast. But think of it like this. When you go to the gym, you go to day 1 and you're like, okay, I'm going to show up for myself. I'm going to do some bicep curls. After you go to the gym day 1, by no means do you not need to go day 2, day 3, day 4. You don't wake up the next day with just huge biceps that are rock hard and ready to go. Nutrition's a part of it. Consistency is a part of it. Stress is a part of it. Sleep is a part of it. Those are all part of the puzzle to make your workouts actually the most beneficial. But consistency is number 1. So you practicing this embodiment is you saying yes to yourself every single day. You practicing mindfulness, even if it's 1 minute, you don't need to go full shebang and go 1 to 100. It's just incorporating it into your day, incorporating these teachers and resources that I mentioned into your day, and saying, okay, even you saying right now, if you're listening, like repeating to yourself, I'm tired of running away. I'm tired of ignoring you. I'm listening. I'm listening skin. I'm listening body, mind. I love you, but it's time I get into my body, and I know I can do it. So setting that time every single day, using the analogy of the gym, you have to be consistent. It's the same thing with mindset. It's the same thing with these self-love, mindful practices. They take the same effort, and they're going to be uncomfortable. They're going to be confusing. They're going to be different. But that is the work we are here to do. That is the work that allows us to be our fullest self, our best versions of ourselves, live the life we want to live. And you guys, I got to show up on my wedding day with completely clear skin. I got to walk down that aisle and not be scared at all about my skin. And it was the work and love that I poured into to say, okay, all of these ways that I'm trying to mentally make this happen are not working. So it is my job now to say I surrender and I'm going within. All right, my loves. I love you. I'm so grateful for this episode. Again, let me know how you liked this energy of this episode, as well as if you want that embodiment episode. And I'm just so here for the process. I am in it as well. I'm literally still in so much of my journey now. And that's what I think we're so here to do. So know that you are not alone. Know that you listening to this episode is you inviting in embodiment, is you saying, I'm over the way that I've been doing it. It's not working. And that is incredible. And I'm so beyond proud of you. I love you so much. I can't wait to see you in the next episode.